So I got TikTok recently, and I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty addictive. I've also binge watched like 3 shows in the past 2 months, and I don't really have a sleep schedule anymore. I'm pretty ready for things to start opening up, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who feels this way. But is that really a good idea? The good news is that the number of COVID-19 cases around the world has been slowing down, and many countries are starting to open up their economies. But is this really the end of the coronavirus pandemic, or should we be worried about a second wave? If you search the news, you'll see plenty of headlines about a second wave of coronavirus, and many of these suggestions are not that unfounded. Second waves from viruses are not as uncommon as you may think. You know the 1918 Spanish flu that killed some 40 million people around the world? Well, that virus came in 3 waves, and the second wave was the deadliest. The H1N1 swine flu pandemic in 2009 also came in 2 waves, one that came in the spring and one that came in the summer. And it's not just the influenza viruses that have multiple waves. Both SARS-1 and MERS, the previous coronavirus pandemics of the 21st century, came in multiple waves. One of the reasons that viruses come in multiple waves is because of herd immunity. The idea of herd immunity comes from the fact that if a majority of people in a population are immune to a virus, either because of a vaccine or because they've recovered from the virus and have therefore developed antibodies against the virus, then the virus won't be able to infect people. A virus that can't infect people is a virus that won't spread, and a virus that doesn't spread likely dies out. This way, the majority of people being immune will actually protect the minority of people who are not immune. Most experts agree that herd immunity is only achieved once 70 to 90% of the population is immune to a virus. A great example of this is with smallpox, which is a disease that has ravaged populations from the beginning of human history. However, due to a vaccine, herd immunity was achieved and smallpox was eradicated in the late 70s. Given that at the time of recording, only 4.3 million people have been infected with the coronavirus, we are far from herd immunity. The Pasteur Institute recently reported that less than 6% of France's population has been infected with the coronavirus. That means that up to 94% of the population is still completely susceptible to it. Similarly, in the USA, only about 1.4 million people have been infected with the virus, meaning that almost the entire population of 350 million is still susceptible. Remember the reproductive number, the number reflecting how many new people a virus carrier is going to infect given that the population is susceptible? We've already managed to reduce the reproductive number in most places through aggressive lockdowns and social distancing measures. But the moment that we let up these social distancing measures and start going out into public and in large crowds, the reproductive number will increase and that susceptible population will be put at risk again. This is when a second wave starts to happen. We're already seeing this. There are signs that Germany's reproductive number has been increasing since lockdown was lifted, and that's because more people are coming into contact with one another. Just last weekend, South Korea saw some 100 new cases, and all these were linked to some nightclubs in Seoul. Why the recent spike? Well, last week, South Korea started to lift their social distancing policies. A similar spike has been seen in Chulan, China, where lockdown on the city has been issued, and also in Singapore. Clearly, a second wave is inevitable, and scientists at the University of Minnesota have recently released a report where they suggest the 3 ways in which the second wave may occur. In the first scenario, called peaks and valleys, the next few years will be characterized by multiple spikes and quiet periods, meaning we'll have to reinstate and relax social distancing measures until we can get a vaccine and achieve herd immunity. In the second scenario, called fall peak, a massive second wave will hit, most likely in the fall, due to cooler weather and compounding effects with the seasonal flu. This is kind of like the 1918 Spanish influenza, where the second wave killed the most amount of people. In the final scenario, called slow burnout, there's no clearly defined wave, so the virus would just continue to spread until it just dies out. So based on the data, it seems probable that there will be a second wave. Most experts agree that if there is a second wave, it will come in the fall, but we can't be 100% sure of this. Herd immunity is not a likely scenario for the general population because it's unlikely that a safe vaccine will be ready for widespread distribution in the fall. Even those who've recovered from COVID-19 might be at risk because we don't know how long their antibodies will protect them for. This means that we must maintain social distancing measures if we're to prevent the healthcare system from being overloaded. Even if social distancing measures are being let up, do your part and minimize your contact with others because it might save you and your peers' lives in the long run. Thank you for watching today's video. If you learned something new, hit that like button and subscribe to my channel for new content every single week. I'm Eviatar, and as always, stay healthy, stay positive, and have a wonderful day.